Which of those hands are more suspicious? Let me do the defendant's hand. Start with... Oh, frick, I clicked the wrong guy. The defense would like to view the defendant's hand. Very well. Mr. Payne, your evidence. Yes, Your Honor. Defendant. Right hand was left at the scene of full house. That's exactly what we saw. Well, now, let's see what we have here. Right, sir. Okay, here. So is it... Oh, you forced me to do that. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Okay? Try using or to turn it every which way, and triangle and square to zoom in and out. That should give you a better perspective on the case. Okay, let's do this. Boop. Card backs are red. For some reason I thought that they were using blue cards in that final hand. Didn't you, Mr. Gavin? Huh? Oh, which was it now? These two different decks, dog. Is there nothing going on? Well, has the defense found anything they would like to share with the court? Not unless you count utter confusion. Perhaps you'd best examine the victim's cards next. Of course, you can always give these cards another look. Well, do I examine the other hand of cards? I do. Examine the other hand. Guess I'll examine the victim's cards. Your Honor, the defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's hand. Granted. But make it quick, Mr. Augustus. Alright, let's do this. 3 kings, correct. 2 aces. Oh, he's gotta have, Don't worry, justice is always swift. Let me guess, it's gonna be, what, 4 red, 1 blue? Whoa! What? Your Honor, look at this. One of the victim's cards. The back is a different color. That's impossible. But I put the card in Wright's hand. What was that, Miss Orley? No, I merely said that I've... Your Honor. Mr. Gavin, yes? Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say. The dealer. Wait, so you mean... This witness, Miss Orley, she's the cheater. A professional, I'd wager. Yeah! Order! Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of of her mistake. There we go. Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard. That's impossible. But they put their card in Wright's hand. Ergo, Miss Olga Orley conspired to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim. What? Wait, you don't mean the defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga Orley, are you? Time for justice. There were 3 people in the courtroom at the time of the incident. And if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means I am. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga Orley, of murder. She died. Oh, that's cool. That's so cool. I love this. God. I'm just gonna pause right here. It is so much like the other games. This is so good. I was so scared that it was gonna be like what they did with Pokemon. How, like, all of the games are like amazing story and everything, and then like once they got updated to graphics, like they started focusing less on story and on quality Pokemon design, and they just like they thought, hey, it's like 3D, so you guys must like it. We're like, oh, we added open world. Oh, we added online multiplayer. We don't have to really focus. We don't have to add a story until the last 15 minutes. We don't have to add quality Pokemon design, you know? I was scared it was going to be something like that for this game, but this is so similar I can hardly even tell it's a different game other than the main character. It's so good. Mr. Payne, where's your witness, Miss Olga Orley? It appears she has lost a consciousness, Your Honor. Mr. Justice? Your Honor. It seems you presented a new possibility to the court, one suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim. Mr. Smith. And that means this court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time. What? I did it. I held out. I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries. Objection! That was a Phoenix, I think. There we go. Hey, Phoenix. Hello, Feeny. Mr. Wright? You can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant's feeling now? Think. One of the cards I did for colored back. Don't you wonder what it means? What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous. Mr. Payne, you of all people should know, Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. God, that's a good line. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night. As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before. The 2 decks of the club have different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why use different colored backs? If we use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed. You used different colors and they still got mixed up. We used the red deck before, for the last game. I see, but that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards. Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards. Whatever. In the end, 1 card of the wrong color got into the mix. Which means there was cheating. Yes, the card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet, this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo? Yes? Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think. In the last game, when was the card swapped? When? There are 3 broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Oh, yeah, thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped. Oh? It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne, or it might not be. I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped? You know what? I'm thinking after the murder. After. Perhaps that happened after the murder? What's that? Ridiculous! What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly. Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible. Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible. Oh? Even when the backs of the cards are a different color? If you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown. After the murder. Okay. This is going past silly and straight onto crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that? No, indeed. That's one of the mysteries before us. There's another? Yes. A simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? Who? The game and murder is done. The victim is dead. Only 2 remain in the room. Alive, that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga Orley. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for a blue? It was Olga Orley, dude. Why, it must have been Olga Orley who swapped the cards. She was trying to cover up evidence of the cheating. That does make some sense. Sorry, but there's a problem with that explanation. Huh? The swap card was from the wrong deck. Yes, a blue card was... yes, a blue card was struck into a red hand. Like seeing a card from the wrong deck, when the backs are different colors? Remember that you're talking about Olga Orley. She was the dealer. Do you really think she would make such a novice mistake? I actually have trouble imagining even the judge making that mistake. Give it a little more thought, Apollo. Right. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for a blue? It must have been someone else, right? The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga Orley either. What are you suggesting? That's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As the defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss Orley at this point. Yes, I know. But she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong color card. Duh. And if the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright? Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking how much fun all this is. Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant, and it wasn't Miss Orley, then who was it? Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction. A new direction? We'll find that, indeed, after the murder, someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand. And that someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure you're going to tell us that the first was swapping the wrong color card, because the one who did the swap didn't know two colors of cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Right, the person replaced the fifth ace with a king. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. But there's one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist. True, not until now. But you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility. There was someone else there that night at the scene of the crime. What? Mumble, 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 mumble. I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright. This trial has proceeded on one central assumption. Namely, that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room. I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption. The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court. I suppose that is a problem, yeah. Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess. Certainly, Your Honor. Very well. The trial will resume in 20 minutes. What is going on? A fourth person? April 20th, 11:52 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. To suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of a crime like that, I must ask, is it the truth? Well, now, I think you would know the answer to that. Being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I'll only ask that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Kristoff. Justice? Yes, sir. The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me. Can do. I've been here. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear. Is that really yours, Mr. Wright? You're wondering about the victim's locket? Here, you can take a look at it. That's a picture of my daughter in there. Please, 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 look like Maya. That doesn't look like Maya. I mean, that looks like Mia. I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her on these days. Wait. It doesn't look like Maya. One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago, what I did? It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. What did you do 7 years ago? I haven't... Is that canon? It's not in the TV show, it's not... I don't think it's in the game. I may have glanced over it. Is there another game? Is it in Investigations? Is it in, Lupin? I haven't played those ones. I never honest, but... It is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Wanna know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. Eh? You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. And that way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like trial law. Figure out what your opponent is thinking, and you win. Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information. You're kidding! That witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Oh my god, wait, they're making... Oh, this is good. No. Come on, who noticed that? Words, habits, twitches. It's all information for the reader. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me that. And now, I pass the secret on to you. But, I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? But you will, soon. Almost forgot. One more thing about this case. You should know I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. What? I knew it. I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power. Am I a fucking spirit medium? Am I a fucking spirit medium? My power? I know my quartz of steel were that special. It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best. I think I'm a spirit medium, dog. To be continued. I don't think I'm recording. Yeah, I'm gonna save. I'm gonna keep continuing. I'm gonna keep playing. Yeah. Let me go to the next chapter, dog. God, I love this game. April 20th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Oh, we're in court again. Wait. Oh, the recess. Right. Are we on opposite sides? That's alright. Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga Orley, recovered? Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness. Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again. That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Baird. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss Orley take the stand. Very well. The witness will take the stand. Hello, Miss Olga Orley. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession. Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser. Not. I knew it, she was American. Name's Olga Orley, that's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quickfingers Orley. Oh. Oh, really? Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my last name sounds like, oh, really? There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. Fucking knew it. Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night. Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see? Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. Fine. She's touching her neck, though. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game. As a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim. Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend. The unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple. Elegant, really, you see. We set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call them out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card, and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards. Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it. It would have made him a great double pay. Just like that, the legend would have been dashed to pieces. Indeed. Getting caught red-handed and cheating would have cast doubt on all his prior wins. A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Oh really, Orley? After all. But it appears you made quite the mistake. A mistake? I agree, the trap was evident. Yet, what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right. He's lucky. I'll give him that. He'd have to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers O'Reilly. Oh, really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick. Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad. You hear me? Bad. Okay. When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. The best laid traps. That night, I played to the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him, but the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith. It was that no-good cheating defending. But he didn't cheat, dog. A surprising frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. The trap was perfect, I tell you. Perfect, if that wrong cheater hadn't messed it up. Look who's talking. Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice. With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? The best laid traps. That night I played the card like I was supposed to. Just playing a card. Which card was it exactly? The trump card. The 5 of hearts. Let me guess, Mr. Wright must have switched the 5 with the ace to make a full house. At least that's what you were going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruining his legend. I slid it into Wright's pocket. When was this? Why, before the match, of course. While he was eating. At the Borscht Bowl Club, we serve borscht and suckers. Remind me never to go there. Of course, the card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good borscht, a good plum must be cooked up early and allowed to thicken. And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But he didn't. Oh, so everything went according to plan. Exactly. The 5th ace came up, so it's obvious the switch went off without a hitch. Once the extra card was found in his pocket, Wright would be forever known as a cheat and a fraud. There are worse things to be known as, I suppose. That's what happened with the search. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. Card disappeared? Yeah, my trump card, the 5 of hearts. Gone without a trace. Poof, zip out. We searched every nook and... It's just fucking fun, man. It's just fucking fun. That's card shaped. We searched every nook and cranny, even inside his cute little head. But a card was nowhere to be found, is this correct? Never in my long storied career, never has Quickfingers O'Reilly been so readily duped. Oh really? So what did happen to that 5 of hearts? Don't look at me. Why don't you ask that cheating, lying, two-faced defendant? So the 5 of hearts is still missing in action. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. Didn't he? Wait, isn't that a little odd? What's odd? We searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing, which means he didn't cheat, which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well, oh, there you are, there you are. What was that just now? I sensed something. Something wrong, Mr. Justice. No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Obviously, dog. Miss O'Reilly, you're hiding something. What are you talking about? You, me, Quickfingers O'Reilly, hide something? The defense will refrain from baseless accusations. I have one question for the witness, then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Yeah, of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw it when Mr. Wright hit him. With my own eyes, I saw it. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly, she would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Touching her neck, wasn't it? Whoa, what's going on? The sensation. It's coming into focus. There. That twitch, it's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit, like I couldn't before.
Gotcha!
Miss Aurelia, perhaps you're unaware of this yourself. But unaware of what? Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. My neck? So what? What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says that part of the testimony, she's just subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory, and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about? This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us? Do I? Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So, what reminded most of the moment of the crime? Miss Aurelia? Oh, really? Whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck is this. What weapon? What weapon? What weapon? What weapon? I believe an inerasable impression? Dog, what are you asking? This is the only thing I have. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. You know, what reminds us more of that moment than this bottle? The murder weapon. But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? What's he talking about now? It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit. Not you. This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness's habits? They're completely irrelevant. Justice, I'll admit, I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later. Just tell me. Trust me, now is our only chance to break her. Miss O'Reilly, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment. Yet, I am knowing nothing. We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please. Now. Fine. He's the one who did it. I don't let him out of my sight until the cops got there. Oh, bullshit. Bullshit.
Hold it!
Bullshit. You seem uneasy. You try standing up here. Her eyes are darting all over the place. They must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like? Well, he must have been stunned by the weight of his crown. He sat in a daze at the table until the cops came. Intriguing. I believe you got all the testimony you're going to get out of this witness. So, what do you think about her testimony? I'll tell you what I think. Her testimony is flawed. It's basically bogus. It contradicts the evidence. Well, what's that? Well, show us this evidence, Mr. Dustin. This evidence that you claim contradicts the testimony. She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that. Is it in here? Is it gonna... Oh, right here. Hey, Bob. Miss O'Reilly, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowls Club. So, explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. The This is awesome. The man who picked up a bottle and swung it at that wasn't the defendant. It was Shady, right? That little shady guy, Smith. Wait, there was another person there, wasn't there? Was it Miles Edgeworth? What is going on? Those aren't red or blue. Showdown time. You dirty cheat. Check his pockets. Now. It's gone. The card's gone. You lose. Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to Rat, and he hit me. You, some master of cheating you turned out to be. Eek. When I came to, the victim was already dead. Oh no, the victim was already dead, is that it? That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. Well, where does this leave us? Madness, this is madness. I'm dreaming. It must have been me who was hit with a bottle, and I'm imagining all of this. It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Mr. Gavin, sir? I believe that, as the defense in this case, we're compelled to call Miss O'Reilly a big, fat liar. What? 3 were in that room the night of the murder, the defendant, victim, and her. And she has a motive. A motive? Her plot foiled. The witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the denouement of that argument was murder. What? I didn't. I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me. What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Wright? Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of cards were being used. A 4th person. This theory again. Your 4th person doesn't exist. Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. The real criminal? And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. At the beginning of the fucking trial? What? At the beginning of the trial? Jeez, man. There was nothing at the beginning of the trial, right? What? What? Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Remember what I said? The 4th person who swapped the cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the color of the backs of the cards. Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there's one person here, in our court, who thought those cards were blue. Who? Yeah, I had that impression too, but why? Well, Apollo, you can figure out who it was? Is it Godot? Godot, see? It's not me, I swear! Who is this 4th person? Why do we always get put on the spot like this? Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? Is it Christoph? As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right? Kristoff, Gavin, you were the fourth person there. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor or the table. But look, you can see the colors in this photo. Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. Oh my god. It is true that the defendant was engaged. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game, in the pure sense. Competition, Your Honor. Competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Dude, no, I loved Kristoff. He was kinda cool. Well, Kristoff? Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin, is something the matter? No, nothing. Excuse me, it was just so sudden. Right. You weren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Kristoff? You know, even I'd never take a joke this far. This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder? I assure you, I'm quite sane. Well, what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met. Well, what if they have? Huh? There's a possibility, after all. They may have met that night, before the game started. What are you suggesting? Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify in court. The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin? Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before that game of poker be related? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss O'Reilly... Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He's the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you. Oh, okay. As a court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony. Fuck yeah, we do. This is Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along. And I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. It too? Justice? You would betray me, your teacher. I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin, this isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth. Very well, the defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please. Let's fucking do this. Appetite before murder. That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Mr. Gavin, you were at the Bush Bowl Club the night of the murder? I dined with him rather frequently. And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder? But against my will, I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, Wright? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice. Sir, he's lying, and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? Appetite before murder. That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in the school. You had dinner with him, with Mr. Gavin? Yes, he dines with me at the Bush Bowl Club quite frequently. We were enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot, as usual. I always eat at the table closest to the piano. Is that true? Where's the piano, dog? Oh, the piano is right there. And it does look like there's food, maybe 2 plates. You can't really tell that that isn't Shady's food though. Let me see. Where Mr. Smith was sitting? Saw the plates and such on the table from your dinner? Indeed, the remnants of my meal with Kristoff. We dined for 2 hours, then Kristoff left. After that, Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff. 5 minutes, you say, huh? 5 minutes? So, the 2 of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time. That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure. Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Kristoff Gavin and Shady Smith may have met. I believe I did say that. Here I was all nervous about this meeting. Now we hear they just passed in the hall. That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Oh, it would be, if that were all that really happened. Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga Orvili mentioned. The plan was simple. Elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Rat's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When our hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Rat. He would then pull out the planted card, and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Yes, a harmless prank in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. A quirk? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. The card she planted. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. An empty bottle of grape juice? The murder weapon? Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama. Card inside the murder weapon. That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. There's nothing there. I already looked. It's completely empty. Mr. Wright, the poker head of courtroom number 3 approves of this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony with this new information. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle, but now I have to present the empty bottle.
Objection!
Mr. Wright, if I may? Yes. I've examined the bottle, and I don't see any card in here. No? What, Mr. Wright? Surely, blank blank, dot 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 isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle. However... Huh? Perhaps a 5th person came and took it out? Oh no, perhaps a 5th person came and took it out. Oh, and a 6th person could have helped. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client. My apologies, Your Honor. I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing. So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Oh. Push him harder, Justice. Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the knockout. I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore. That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We were at the table in this order. Okay. Shady Smith watching from his head. Sharing the trap. Girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. You made the call to the police from the 1st floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout. Was anyone else on the 1st floor at the time? Also, it was the middle of the night after all. So there in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress all alone. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead.
Move it!
And when he returned, the victim was already dead, yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in. Little? He was bleeding from his forehead after all. I guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. That's when I made another phone call to Defense Attorney Gavin. Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin? I'd obviously gotten involved in a rather sticky affair, and I figured Kristoff's law offices would give me a friend rate for my defense fees. I'm glad to hear you intend to pay. Oh, I'll pay in full, Kristoff. It was I who got you involved, after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high. Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about? Justice, you know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him now. Yes, sir. I have to think. What's Mr. Wright trying to tell me with this testimony? The truth has to be in there somewhere. It does. It's not immediately obvious, though. There's nothing in here. Right?
Hold it!
5 minutes of Kristoff left.
Hold it! Objection!
Yeah, it's not immediately obvious. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes? Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Justice. Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his forehead. Eh? You put the hat on the dead man's head? He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view, shining bright, just like in this photograph. And I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head. Well, why'd you do a thing like that? All I can say is, I'm sorry, but that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. That's just not true. Summerso really didn't see it. It being the victim's, or his head. I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed this head. Here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case. He's still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin? This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Kristoff. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. Huh? When I noticed a trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. A reason? The reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night, recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Dude, what? Kristoff, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. The gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good. He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? Wait. Patty? He didn't say the head. It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please, the cop should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should have come to that. He didn't say that it was on the head, you dumb guy. Bone china plate. That kind of porcelain, very smooth and shiny, and not plate, but patty. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Wait a second, something's not right about that phone call. So after Miss Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club? Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see this bone china patty? I don't know. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court? Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So, this is your reason? The reason why you put the victim's hat back on? Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it, Phoenix Wright? Order. I will have order. Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor. I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear Defense Attorney Gavin's testimony? Well, as the prosecutor, Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes, after which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that? Crystal clear, Your Honor. Very well. This will be the final recess for the day. That's good. I don't want any more recesses. April 20th, 2:32 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Who'd have thought today... Oh, Jesus, you stupid cat. Oh my god, fucking jump scare. Who'd have thought today would turn out like this? May I? Oh, it's her? Huh? What? Oh, sir, please pick a card. What's all this about? Is this one okay? Oh my god, it's a 5 of hearts, isn't it? Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. We'll need a trump card to make it. A trump card? The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That's all. Oh no, this is an ace. An ace? Where do we remember this card from? Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces, and Mr. Wright's 2. There's 5 aces in total. It is true. I've seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you. The missing 5th ace. Wait, The splotch of red. Is this blood? You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it. God. Whose daughter are you? You somewhat resemble Mia. Mia's dead though, but it makes sense that maybe his child would look a bit like Mia. Fuck. My father's fate is in your hands. This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth. I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl, I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. I'm actually gonna end the video right there. After this trump card. Right before this final thing. April 20th, 2:45 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Alright, can I pause? Court will now reconvene. No, it won't. It will next time. Alright, that's about it.